Hey there. This is the second part of Monday Morning Catholic episode 111 on surviving Holy Week. We're glad you could be with us. We did it all in one take, but we chopped it up because it'd be a lot easier for you all to consume on your many devices. So this is part 2 of Monday Morning Catholic episode 111.
Let's move on to Good Friday, shall we?
Okay.
Good Friday, of course, there is no opening, there is no closing, it's just a lot of middle.
Yes.
And that's the best way I can put it. Whether or not you do the stations and whether or not you actually do the celebration of the commemoration of the death of Jesus. We in Lakeville did it at 3 p.m, which is my preferred time. I understand that people can't get out of work and families don't come, but what I do notice, having done it both at 3 o'clock and at 7 or 7:30, is that the people who come are the people who come. So it's that thing where if it really is, some people take Good Friday off. When I'm not working in my own place, I don't work Good Friday. That's always just been the way I've been. So 3 o'clock in the afternoon, commemorating the actual time that we believe Jesus died, somehow fits for me. So I was glad to celebrate it with people who were. No offense, Linda. I've done the 7:30 thing for years.
No, it's
Thank God you don't need me.
like you said, for pastoral reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we do it at night. For
Exactly.
pastoral reasons. A, so we have a choir,
Mm-hmm.
and B, so we people who have to work and cannot take the day off
Mm-hmm.
can come to the ceremony
Right.
also. Also, in pushing attendance at the Triduum, it helps to say these 3 services are Thursday 7:30, Friday 7:30, and
Yep.
the vigil begins at 8.
Right.
I'm just going through pastoral reasons.
Right. No,
why we do it at 7.
I understand that. I just like to be that little piece of grizzle under the oyster.
A lot of that stuff is very monastic. The monks can do it whenever the heck they want.
And they're sleeping by 7, aren't they?
And yeah,
No, they are.
the monks can do it whenever they want. I personally have no problem with it at 7:30. So,
Right. And I love my 3 o'clock.
Fine.
Really. I really do. So sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't.
That's right.
Exactly. So was there anything special or interesting in your Good Fridays?
I mean, that was a miss.
No.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be a miss.
It wasn't. Nothing was amiss. We did everything. Everything went fine. Nobody dropped. We have a huge cross.
Yeah, that's big.
That we use for veneration. And our poor pastor has to hoist that thing up and sing while he's got it up in the air. So, and he did it just fine this year.
Good.
No problems. Nothing was dropped. It made it up to the front, and it was actually a little better. I have to say, a little better crowd than normally is on Good Friday, and everything went smoothly from the musical point of view. And that's for more than that.
I will say when I had the chance to be the narrator last year, that was the very first time I'd ever done it. I've always been doing something else for Good Friday, and it was really special.
Well, you know who was the narrator this year? Mary Ann.
Oh, and she's blind.
She's blind, and she lectures from a Braille lectionary.
Wow.
And that was so powerful. It really was. It was just beautiful. Her pacing, because of the Braille.
She paces very, very
her
differently.
Pacing is very, very understandable and very nice. And it made the reading of the Passion just beautiful.
How about you two?
Things went well. Everything went well. The issue we had, there was a small issue. The deacon got Geekin got excited. And
Okay.
so he was instructed to, okay, now's the time for the cross. So he went back and got the cross, and then they started the collection. And instead of allowing the collection for the Holy Lands to be completed, all of a sudden, I'm waiting because I can see the ushers still doing the collecting. So I'm waiting, and all of a sudden, out of the clear blue, behold the wood of the cross,
No.
and I'm going,
Oh.
now I'm looking down. I've got a deacon like this,
Yeah.
and I've got all of the ushers looking at him, trying not to hit him, and he's not really. He's a tall guy, elbows, and he's. I'm waiting for the baskets to go up with him. It was.
Yeah.
It
Oh.
was like he's weaving. It was.
Traffic jam.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And it was for the 5 seconds that I'm watching him go between when they intersected. I'm like,
Oh
but things
my.
went well. Things went well.
Other than that, it went well.
Other than that, it went well.
Well.
The excitement of when we have to do things like that.
These things do happen.
Yes, they
These
do.
things do happen.
Yes. What about you, Jason?
Went very smoothly, very nice this year. Same thing, good crowd. One of the things I did this year, as opposed to the last few Good Fridays, as far as choosing music for the Veneration of the Cross, I've always done 3 or 4 pieces. But this year I didn't do that. I opted to streamline it a little bit more, and I did one piece during the Veneration of the Cross, and I did Steve Warner's Crux Fidelis.
Oh, love that piece.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I had ordered it. I had ordered the piece for my group like a couple of years ago. I was like, oh, I've done this before. I want to do it with them, and it was just something that I never got to. So I said, this year it has 6 verses. It paces along very well, and the text is unbelievable. It's got such a beautiful text. So I said, you know what? I'm using it this year. I have a violinist, and it worked perfectly. All the verses covered exactly the action. So it worked really nice.
Great.
Really, really nice.
Perfect.
Nice piece.
It's a beautiful piece.
It is a gorgeous piece, and it's a little tricky in spots, but something that a regular choir can handle.
Yeah, it's a little tricky when you're with the breathing and the phrasing getting more specific, but
Too specific for some people, but that's okay.
But I loved that ending line of the first 4 verses.
It's a very, very pretty piece.
Yeah.
I've used it quite a bit when I have the chance to. It just is one of those pieces. And you hum it. You come out humming it. Trust me.
Right, and the thing is, once you learn the refrain, you know the song. The soloists sing the verses, and they hum the parts underneath.
Exactly. It's Steve Warner. That's a gem.
Oh, I loved it, and it worked really well. I'm glad I did that this year.
And it's interesting because I was in a place that didn't do it. I know, Linda, were you there?
We do. Were you there during the reading of the Passion?
All right, that was the question I was going to ask. Does anybody use a Passion acclamation for Good Friday?
We
do.
This I took this years ago from an OCP model, and it's more singing than we do, and I don't do any of the in between singing. But there are 6 interventions.
Right.
3 verses of O Sacred Head with text to match where the intervention is.
Yep. I know exactly what this is.
You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
And then the last 3 interventions were 3 verses of Were You There?
Right.
And that's really the only place we use it.
I know I've done in the past, I've used a Passion acclamation, both on Palm Passion Sunday and on Good Friday, 2 different ones.
Yeah, well, we use Jesus Remember Me on Palm Sunday.
Yeah. I've used Haugens and the Cross of Christ.
We use that for stations.
Oh, okay.
Well, Joanne, you've done Randall DeBryan's.
That's what she's
That's the one I'm talking about.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Instead of singing the whole thing.
I love that opening piece, though.
I know, and
It
we
is
did
nice.
we did that for a while, and then you know how choirs go up and down. We did that opening piece for a while.
That's a nice way of saying.
Up and down. And during the down period, I decided to cut it.
Yeah.
And
It never came back.
and it never came back. So it's something I think about. So
Yeah.
Okay. And Good Friday. I mean, who is singing in the general intercessions? You have 10 long things.
I know. Me, I'm singing.
You're singing. Okay.
Yeah, but Linda, do you use the what's that arrangement? Who's that by? Kevin Kyle?
Kevin Kyle.
No, I don't use that.
Okay.
I've
Because
used that in
I
the
had
past,
started-
but I didn't use it this
I
year.
had started singing them before Kevin did his thing.
Yeah.
You know,
It wasn't that long ago, Linda.
yeah, but I've been singing them for years.
Yeah, a lot of us have been singing different things. When his came out, however,
Right.
it was really nice. And then they changed all the
And they changed all the words.
words again. So we.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I
And
just
do it.
basically pick a chant tone that I like and go with it.
Yeah. I chanted them right out of the sacramentary.
There you go.
Right out of the
Everybody
sacrament.
kneeling and standing, kneeling and standing, kneeling and standing, or are we staying in one position?
No, we stay in one position.
Yeah.
One position.
Standing.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah,
do Catholic calisthenics.
My pastor asked me, he's like, well, what do you think? I said, I think it's just going to get messy with the standing and then the
It
kneeling.
is.
I'd opt for kneeling.
Let us kneel. Let us stand.
But we stand for the prayer of the faithful every other time.
True.
Yeah.
Why kneel during the general intercessions on Good Friday?
Different focus, different.
It's special.
Yeah.
It is special because I don't sing them any other time.
Yeah.
Right. And of course, we've already heard about a veneration cross.
Mhm.
It's pretty much a very solemn hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That moves us into the big kahuna,
Yeah.
the big vigil of all vigils.
EV.
Yes, the
EV.
Easter vigil. Now, around in these parts, sunset was at 7:02.
There we go.
And the directives from the diocese said
8 o'clock.
no,
Oh, what did yours say?
7:30.
Yours said 7:30. Mine said 8 o'clock. The
Ours
Archdiocese.
was at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
7:30. I believe sunset was 7:30 or something like that. 7:30.
Well, at least this year, if anybody started at 7:30, it wasn't bad
No.
because.
There were many
No.
parishes that started at 7.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, tell me about it.
I know of one that started at 7:15.
Well,
What? 7:15.
7:15.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's freaky. But you know, I don't. I'm going to be a huge stick in the mud on this one because, and this has always been my spiel to people. Unless you're going to buy a tarp and throw it over the church,
Yeah.
Right. I
We
agree.
Started at 8 for crying out loud.
we
Right.
start after sunset.
Yes.
At least an hour after sunset, because the imagery of the light piercing the darkness doesn't work.
Right.
It's the light outside. Now I get back at me, well, for pastoral reasons. All right, fine. I understand and I will work with pastoral reasons, but work with me here, folks. This one is a biggie.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's a
The
huge.
whole point of
huge.
light
And if there's
darkness.
if there's just one mass throughout the whole year that you really have a need to start in darkness, do it.
This one,
But, you know,
It's one. And if people can't come for pastoral reasons, then you've got Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
I think it really is a pastoral concern with some gentlemen that they don't want to lose the people that they do have coming to the vigil by moving the time. They're afraid it's going to happen.
Well,
I understand that. I just want them to try to take a step out in faith, just once.
yeah, but
And
to me, you're doing that for personal, selfish reasons rather than.
I don't think it's selfish. I really think they believe that if they do this, they will lose their Easter Vigil crowd.
Well, then they don't understand. Well, the people that are coming don't understand.
Yeah.
I think the people will come. You see, I'm of the mind where if they're there if they're there on any of these 3 days, they're there because they want to be there.
Exactly, and that's one of the things my pastor said.
Yeah.
Kicking off Holy Thursday.
Yeah, you're here because you want to be here.
That's right.
If you do it at 8 o'clock, they will come.
Yeah,
In fact,
if you build it, they will come. Exactly. If you
in
do,
fact,
Because the
And,
odd thing
and part of
is-
it is education, and everybody here has said that their pastors did a fine job in
Yes.
building up the mentality of
Mhm.
the connection between Holy Thursday, Good Friday, and Easter Vigil.
Yes.
yes.
And or it's a process. Linda said it's a process over the years. You're building this up. It
Exactly.
always is a process. There's no doubt about that. Education is always a process.
Exactly.
So-
We have it at 8 no matter how early Easter is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Even if it's dark at 7 o'clock, we have it at 8. So that every
So it's
year it's
definitely
always
dark.
at the same time.
Right. So next year when it's April 16th and
Yes.
sunset
It
is
will be at 8.
7:40,
It will be at 8.
there comes the problem. But now that the tiny bees are back in the Exalted, how did everybody? The Exalted's the big thing. That's huge. So how did our deacons and/or anything else?
It's
No
huge.
deacons, me.
That's true.
Me.
Oh, you did it this year, Nance. Good for you.
This is my second year. Yeah.
Second year.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
And, well, I did it all the time at St. John's, but because we didn't have a deacon.
Mhm.
So I did it for 18 years there, and then I came to St. Teresa and they had a deacon, so I never did it.
Right.
And the deacon, when it changed, he did it the first year, and after that, the pastor says, "Can you do it next year?"
Ooh.
What did he
And,
say to the deacon?
Deacon was happy to pass it on.
Oh,
One less thing
okay.
to worry about.
Okay.
One less thing to worry about.
Same with our
And-
deacon.
Yeah.
But I sweated it all week because I've been, on the cusp sick.
Oh.
You know, where it sits here just a little bit, or sits in the throat just a little bit, or sits in the sinuses just a little bit. So I was sweating it all week.
And
So the
unfortunately,
bumblebees bumbled for a short version this year.
went for the short version.
They went to the short version. I did the short version.
Get out.
Ah,
I did. I did the short
Shorter
version
form.
because I still had to do the Litany of the Saints and a couple of other things, and I didn't know what I was going to have left.
Oh, jeez.
So that pastor said, "That's fine. Short version, long version, just do it."
Okay. Jason, what did you do?
This was actually my first year cantering the long form of the Exalted.
Ah.
Since I've been at St. Brennan's, I've had a cantor.
Ah.
But my cantor has since moved on. So this
Oh.
year I was up to bat.
oh. Ah.
Now you need to
And-
create another cancer to do this.
But it went very well.
Good.
But one of the things was there's a little section that I had to leave out.
Yes, because
it's
we're
right-
not ordained.
You're not
Right. that
Oh yeah.
that part right before
little thing that you're not ordained.
Yeah.
the part right before the Lord be with you,
Right.
therefore, or something
Standing
like
in
that.
Yeah, therefore standing in this holy light.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't do it unless you're ordained.
So I just started in on lift up your
Nice.
voice.
You just cross it out and keep moving.
Yeah, but
Right.
it went very well. Everybody said it sounded good. So
And then there are some of us who do all kinds of other things.
Who sing the
Yes.
Exalted every year.
Linda, you used the Rock O'Connor?
I do. Use the Rock O'Connor.
Yeah.
And people look forward to it every year.
Yep.
No.
You know, I had the sponsor of the woman who was being baptized. He goes, "I can't wait for the Easter Vigil. I just love what you sing with the drums and the."
The drums, folks.
It's just very, very primal.
Yeah.
And I think, with the fire all over the place and all these, kinds of
This is the night.
Primordial symbols.
Mhm.
I really think Rock O'Connor hit the nail on the head with this.
You did.
I just love it, and so does the parish. And they sing the refrains like crazy. So that's what we did.
Now, Joanne, I'm going to play devil's advocate. Now, nobody get upset now.
Go
All
ahead.
right.
Translations.
Yeah, I know. Rock did his own.
Rock O'Connor had the bees before the
Yeah.
the Roman Missile 3 did.
So,
Yeah.
so it does still work. The old.
It actually does.
He
Okay.
never left the bees out.
Never left the bees out. That's the big part.
Not only the tiny bees, but the mother bee.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've done that piece. So I don't.
We've had every bee under the sun.
Yes,
The bumblebee.
exactly. Honeybees.
And actually, he did his own translation. I had messaged him about doing it, and he messaged back to me and said, "I am so glad to hear that somebody's still doing that." He said, "I was really proud of that translation."
There you go.
I said, "Well, I really like it too. So thank you, thank you, thank you."
Yes, we really. I looked at it when the Roman Missile changed, and I said, you know what? This will work.
It'll work. Sure, it works. Jeez.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, yeah. It's been a while since I've.
It
used
may not have a lot of Latin clauses in it, but it works.
I want those clauses, Linda.
Oh well.
Whoa.
I'd like to get rid of the ones we have.
Okay, that's a topic for another show. That really is a topic for another show.
Okay.
Okay. Here comes another sticky subject. How many readings?
7.
4.
Oh, 3, 7, and 4. And there was 4 in Lakeville, I heard, so because I wasn't there. But yeah, you can still do 7 readings with the.
You pick your battles.
I know.
Exactly, Linda. Yep.
That's one battle I was not ready to go with yet.
Yeah. What 1, 3, and 5?
We did 1, 3, 5, and 7.
When the pastor first got there, I said, "This is what we've done in the past." I said, "This is what we've done for several years." I didn't put a number.
Yeah.
Several years.
You did. You said.
I said it's one shot each year that we get to hear our history. I said, "Tell me what you want to do with this." I said, "Can we continue the 7 readings as this assembly is used to, or do you want to change it?"
Good way to present.
And I meant every word of it. It wasn't a play. I wasn't playing him. I wasn't doing anything. I happen to like my pastors. I think we all do.
Yeah.
Like our own pastors. And it was just, this is what our heritage is here at St. Teresa and Christopher.
Right.
And this is what's worked for several years. But knowing that you have the right to want to try something different. What do you want to do? And he says, "We'll try it."
All right.
And so 3 years later, we're still there. So
you go, girl.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
We never had it. We never had all 7. As a matter of fact, we only used to do 3. I got them to do 4.
That's good.
Next year we'll
That's
do
as
5.
far as I could get.
5.
2 more years after that.
Yeah. Slip another one in.
Yeah, the next one I would throw in would be
Increments.
Abraham.
Oh, I'd love to do Abraham. Yeah,
I would throw in
I'd
Abraham
love to
next.
do Abraham. So would Pat. Pat would love to. It's one of his favorite stories.
Well, that's what your goal is for next year.
Yeah.
See if you can get Abraham in there.
Yeah.
And we'll go up to 5. Now,
It was not. It wouldn't be hard to do, except that we have to do the books over.
well, okay. How many being received, baptized into the church, everybody?
Uno.
Baptism.
1 baptism.
5 baptisms.
5 baptisms. Wow.
5 baptisms, 4 entering full reception, full initiation.
Wow, that's 9.
That is nice.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Then we had 10 total confirmed.
Okay.
Sorry, Jay.
No, that's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we had 4 or 5 baptized.
Good.
Fourth count.
Wow.
3 or 4 brought into the church, received,
Right.
We had 12 candidates all together,
Nice.
Wow.
and the rest were confirmation. I
Right.
think like 6 or 7 confirmations, something like that. However those numbers work out.
Right.
Yeah, so we had a decent sized group this year.
Yeah, Lakeville had 2, I believe, baptized and no receptions, but then a couple more confirmations with that.
Mm.
So, I mean, this is a good sign for us here in the
Yeah.
Northeast, because normally baptisms are low, receptions are high. Now it seems to be all of a sudden baptisms are getting high, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
And there's a shift.
Well, it's because the generation is coming up whose parents didn't think it was important to have them baptized.
That's correct.
The
That's
interesting piece for us is we had a couple that joined last year, and the husband, who has to be at least 70, had never been baptized.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So he was in the class with, I'm trying to think of the ages of the others. I mean, we were across the board, actually, for baptisms.
Mm.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, we had a family, like
Oh, yeah.
fairly younger couple with
Yeah.
younger kids.
That's usually that's what happens sometimes.
mm.
Like a whole that harkens back to biblical time.
Yes.
Well, actually, my pastor pointed it out when he was getting ready to baptize him. He took a little aside and he said,
Yeah.
just, in a positive way, saying, look at this, a family being baptized tonight.
Yeah.
As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
Oh, what is that? That's a Roy Cooney song. Anyway.
Yes, it is. But it comes from Joshua first.
Yes, I know that.
Rory didn't make it up.
Says the scripture scholar.
Now, did anything strange happen at your vigils? Any exploding candles? Any?
Yes. There was one thing that I wasn't even aware of until the vigil was over.
Oh.
One of the readers
Mm-hmm.
was careless with her candle. She was wearing a black dress.
Oh no!
Yes.
No! I know who you're talking about.
Martha, the one that was standing next to you.
Next to us, yeah.
She was wearing a black dress, and she was rather careless with her candle. And then she wound up having a black and white dress.
Oh, ouch!
She had candle wax all down the front of her.
Oh,
I mean, she was mad as a hornet.
oh, jeez.
The one thing that happened, and it wasn't a faux pas so much as we had trumpet, violin, and flute at the vigil, and Betty had sat the trumpeter right next to where I was going to sit and then stand and direct. So literally, the horn would be here, and my head is going to be here.
Nice.
And Betty says, "What do you think?" I said, "Well, you could move them over there, but wherever you want to sit them would be great." But I said, "But you could move her over there."
Yeah.
And
Over
never got moved over there.
Over
So
there.
during the song that she had a really strong part,
Move the trumpet
I heard
over
nothing.
there.
I guess not.
I heard nothing. Thank God she had the melody at that point, because I'm going, I'm directing, but I can't hear a thing.
No. It also warrants this one.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let's put it this way. I reached up and I took my hearing aid out. That was the only thing I could do.
It warrants that one. I haven't used
Oh,
it.
yeah. Clowns to the left of me,
that's funny,
jokers to the right. No kidding.
It warrants that. Well,
But,
it. Jason, did you have anything strange?
It actually went really smooth.
It
was
really
very-
smooth?
It went together very nicely.
No craziness with fire or.
Actually, no craziness with fire.
Good.
Nope.
Good.
No,
Really smooth.
I have to admit, Linda, I got a little nervous when all of a sudden, because our fire is inside
yes.
Ooh.
in the back, so I'm looking out towards the fire, and all of a sudden I see. Whoosh,
I know. I did too. I got a little nervous, but that's all right. I'd rather see the fire. The last 3 years, I never saw the darn fire.
Yeah,
We
we saw it.
But you saw it this year, man. Woo!
A little nervous with you needed the fire extinguisher out there.
And actually, I was kind of glad that they used to have the Paschal candle over by the lectern, which is over by where the altar servers sit.
Right.
Mm.
And I would go over there to chant the Exalted.
That's true.
And the altar servers, you know how they get lazy with the candles, and I was afraid somebody was going to set me on fire.
Fire, yeah.
So they They did move the Paschal candle away from the servers last year, first of all.
That's good.
So I don't have to worry about being set on fire anymore.
That's good.
Well, none of us had any strangeness, but a friend of ours did.
Oh dear,
And
you got to
with
poor Steve.
With permission.
Steve.
No, not Steve Romano.
No,
Not Steve Romano. No.
Okay, he has given us permission to tell the story of his very incredibly interesting Easter Vigil,
Yes.
and he is the director at St. Luke's
In Barrington.
in Barrington, and he says only at St. Luke's. Minutes before the start of the Vigil Mass, the pastor walks to the lectern and announces that he is very sick and would not be leading the Easter Vigil. Wow.
Yeah.
Check mark number 1.
Yeah.
It went right downhill from there.
Yeah.
3 choir members were sick and not coming to sing. All right, so he's already down a couple of choir members. So I mentally and musically adjusted the sound in my head. Suddenly, I looked up and was greeting a choir member when she tripped and fell to the floor of the loft. She hit her head and was bleeding.
Man.
Another member called 911. I raced down the stairs to inform the celebrant, as to what was happening. I said that the fire could not be lit until they had taken the lady out on a stretcher through the front door. The whole church is watching me in the loft and then running down the aisle to consult with the celebrant. Minutes later, the firemen and rescue team are in the loft. Now you have to understand, anybody who knows these stairs that go up to lofts are like this big, very about 4 inches.
And his takes a right angle.
That's right, it does. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so they are asking the woman important questions and bandaging her up. Now they're ready to put her on a stretcher and take her to the hospital. She tells them to stop and looks at me and says that she is sorry not to be singing.
Now there's dedication.
There's
Dedication, you're right, Jen.
Her daughter-in-law is an alto, and I watched 2 more members leave. So now he's down 5.
Decimated.
Okay.
He's
I
batting
don't know how many. So now I go downstairs and inform the celebrant that we can begin. I approach the front door of the church and see my friend waiting to start the fire. I said, okay, let's get going. And he looks at me and says, not until the fire trucks and rescue leave, because they didn't have a permit
Go.
to light the fire, and he was concerned. And here in Rhode Island, we do not have laws that permit you to burn outside unless you have a permit. But for most vigils, no one says anything usually. But here are the firemen there, and nobody wants to take a chance.
As long as you just put a hot dog by the fire, you're fine.
That's right. If
Oh,
you put a hot dog over it, then you're
Marshmallow.
okay.
So at 7:55, vigil began, and we did a streamlined version and finished at 9:30. You can't make this stuff up.
No, you can't.
No, you can't. He did also post the next day that to all who are concerned about our events last night, my choir member is doing okay, 5 stitches and no other injuries.
Oh.
Sick choir members returned the next morning, and the entire choir was excellent.
Jeez.
Oh, I want to say only in Rhode Island, but I also
I'm sure it's the
all over
same.
the place.
I'm sure it's the same everywhere.
That
Just
was,
whose turn does it happen to be this year?
Yes.
It was Steve's.
and it was St. Luke's and Barrington's turn to
Yes.
have the Easter vigil that was. Oh, and so Easter Sunday morning came early for some of us.
Yes.
I have to feel bad for Steve Romano. He had a 7 a.m.
I know. Oh my God.
Rough.
Yeah.
That is
8:30 was bad enough.
yes, it was. And I was trying to keep Linda awake.
Well, I said, thank God you were there because you
Linda,
could...
wake up. We got to do the psalm now.
No, she could cover my bad notes.
With my bad notes. With my bad notes. It's really rough to do the next morning, and
Yes,
it
it is.
We as much as we are dedicated, it is really tough to do the next morning, and people don't realize it.
Yeah.
Because you've just given everything you've had to a 2+ Hour.
2.5, 2 3/4 hour.
What were the times on the vigils for you folks?
2:15.
2:15. Ours was 2:20, wasn't it, Linda?
It was almost 2:30.
About 2:30. All right, 2:20, 2:30. About yours, Jason.
Hour and 50, maybe?
Hour 50?
Yeah,
Whoa, you're fast.
something like that. Yeah. Yeah,
Well, that was zippy.
Yeah, we keep it moving.
So nobody can fall asleep.
And that's with a meditation song, too.
Whoa. That is it. Homily? With a homily or not?
Did he do it? Yeah, he did a homily.
Sure, he would have to do a homily.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times they'll do like the abbreviated version of what they'll do the
Right.
next morning.
Yeah.
No. He did a homily. Yep.
Okay. And it looks like we've all survived.
Yes, we made it through. I'm still waiting. I think tomorrow, because I gave the choir off. I think tomorrow is the first day I will not have to play the guitar or sing
There you go.
anything. My fingers look like mincemeat.
I bet. I bet they do.
They really
Yeah.
do. At the end of the vigil, I leaned over to one of my altos, and she looked at my hand and she goes, "Oh my God!" The ends of my fingers were black, and they had double ruts running down them.
I remember those days.
Yeah,
But at least you don't have to sit in front of a complete drum kit.
yeah.
On occasion, I have.
Where I've got, and it's wonderful, but
Yes.
it's almost like that's all I hear.
Loud, yes, it is.
Oh,
It's loud, and it's, but
did you hear me say trumpet? I understand.
Yeah.
this is true, but also I can't move.
Yeah,
And I'm 5'10", and I'm sitting on a bench playing, and I can't move back because there's
Right.
no go.
There's nowhere to go.
And they're like, "Can you move forward?"
Yeah, yeah.
Are
No,
you
there's a
kidding?
pillar here.
so you play piano like this.
I can't go anywhere. It's like, no, I don't think so. But we've all survived.
Yes,
And
we
would we do it again?
We'll do it again next year.
We'll do it again next year. Of course we will. Because it's what we do.
God willing, and the creek don't rise.
Exactly. It is what we do as pastoral ministers.
And we laugh a lot about it, but gosh, we love
We
doing
have
it.
to.
Yeah.
We have to.
We
But,
love doing it.
It's fulfilling.
and we'll argue the finer points,
Yeah.
of course, but I think if any of us had to sit out Triduum, what would we
What
be
I would
like?
do.
God, that'd be too weird.
Yeah, that would be really weird. Although I do know people who have done it.
And someday we will.
Yes. Don't even go there. I honestly, though, don't think so. I think I'm just going to drop behind the canter stand one day.
Oh,
They're just going to step over me and keep going.
jeez. Well, we brought this to our listeners and viewers again this year. At least this time we approached it afterwards,
Yes.
so that you could see us in our glory after Christ rising from the dead. And I have to ask, sequence or no sequence?
Of course, sequence. It's not optional.
That's not what she asked.
Yeah, I'm seeing that with some people it is. Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
sequence.
We did Christ the Lord is risen today. Does that kind of
Yeah.
Yeah, Christ the Lord
Actually,
is
it
risen
is
today.
the sequence.
Yep, it is the sequence. Yeah.
Then we did it.
It is the
Just did it
sequence.
at the
Okay.
entrance, right?
It did it as the entrance and not after the second reading.
We just mixed up the rotation a little.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, see, and this is where the liturgist goes mad because he doesn't understand something that only happens twice a year, why some folks like to jettison the pod.
Yay.
I don't, and I fight for it, and I get in trouble for it.
And the thing is, you can't argue with the pastor if he's arguing time, because it's like the sequence just doesn't take that long to sing,
No, it doesn't.
you know?
It doesn't.
But anyway.
to them, And you know, I've been in this argument. And to them, they see it as something that isn't necessary, that isn't done the other 51 weeks.
Well, no, it's not, because it's not Easter the 51 other weeks of the year.
Exactly, and that's my argument.
Of course.
Pentecost is a little harder to argue.
Yes.
Easter.
But we've always done it. That was one of the things I did go to the wall for, were the sequences.
It depends on what you know, there are things I go to the wall for everything.
Yeah. Well, I can't
honest,
go to the wall
for everything.
They kind of cringe when they see me open my mouth at the staff meeting anyway. So.
Oh, no. Linda's going to say something.
Yes.
Shit.
Oh, my God. What does she want now?
There's another 20 minutes here. I can see it.
Well, look at that. Staff meeting's over.
Yeah.
And on that note, so are we. We did get some feedback.
Oh.
We did get some feedback, but I'm not going to throw it in on this one.
Okay.
Please understand that, yes, we still want we want feedback, but on these particular this episode in 2 parts, I should say, because it's going to stay 111, because I like palindromes. Palindromes, I should say. I got to get it right. I didn't want to include feedback because it's from other weeks. So when we come back on the 17th of April, which is the 18th of April, that Monday, which is a holiday for some people in Massachusetts, it's a holiday for me. We will bring that back. We will be back to our normalness. So we need your feedback. If you have any feedback from Triduum, we'd love to hear anything that happened to you. Please tell us some of what happened to you. It makes us feel better.
Yeah.
Do that by sending. You can do it by sending it mondaymorningcatholic@gmail.com. You can put it in our comment box on the website, mondaymorningcatholic.net. You can put it up on the Facebook page, as some folks have been doing, facebook.com/mondaymorningcatholic. And boy, have they been hitting some things out of the park. Too bad we didn't have a voice of the people on this one, because there's a few things we want to talk about, especially the newest thing that went up there today that I put up, the lovely new app from Eye of the Tiger. Thank you, Linda, for putting it to my attention. I immediately put it up there.
Yeah.
People are mean.
Remember, this is a judgment-free zone here for homilies, so we don't do that. Or you can do what Stephen did and call us on, of course. Call us on the voice feedback line, 774-955-0659. And it's really easy to do. Steve did it. So do it.
So if Steve did it, anybody can do it?
Exactly.
Love it, Steve.
That can be the new marketing slogan for it.
Yes.
Steve can do it. Anybody can do it.
Cooler and warmer, everybody.
But thank you for joining us in these specials. We'll be, like I said, we'll be back. And in the meantime, there has been so much craziness going on in this world. A couple of extra prayers would be, especially for those nuns and that priest in Yemen, for Belgium, for Pakistan, for this country.
Yeah.
God, good Lord in heaven.
Yeah.
Can they learn from the risen Christ here? Can they learn from, serving others? Can they learn from dying to yourself? That's what all of this is about.
Yeah.
Just celebrated. So please, if you've got a few extra, they could really appreciate it. And, that is the wrong one I wanted. And for all of us, pray that we get some rest this week. And next week, so we can get back to our fighting.
3 days coming.
Yeah, we can get back to our fighting selves. So, for Jason Hereview, Linda Reed, Nancy Smith, and myself, Joanne Mercier, thank you so much. Easter has just begun.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Oh, yeah, all the way through to Pentecost. So, celebrate Catholic style. Okay?
Yay.
And we will see you soon. So, ciao for now.
Happy Easter, everyone.